What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including John Cena teases a WWE return again, a major WWE backstage fail, has WWE already fired Eva Marie? The next big thing in WWE, a wrestling legend passes away, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at John Cena teasing a WWE return on The Tonight Show. A John Cena fans take notes as a face that runs the place appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, once again teasing a return to the WWE. Now, we reported on the rumors of Cena appearing at the 16th July SmackDown, which features the return of fans, as well as plans for a Cena vs Roman Reigns bout at SummerSlam. However, Cena continues to remain coy, and when Fallon asked him if he's coming back to the WWE, Cena answered, "Those rumors are true. I'll definitely be back to the WWE. I just don't know when." The 16-time world champion brought up his recent posting of the WWE logo on his Instagram account, saying, "Some people took it as I was returning immediately, which that is not the case. I haven't had my last match, and I can't wait to have my next match." Cena explained he has so many Hollywood gigs lined up that there's no telling when he'll be back in the ring, no matter how much he wants to return to the company that brought him so much success. All these opportunities have led to more opportunities. I said before, once you do one of those things, the insurance doesn't let you go wrestle on the weekends, so we'll wait to see what happens. Cena is finding himself in the same position as The Rock, someone who wants to wrestle another match, but who likely doesn't want to pass on any Hollywood roles either. Wrestling is no longer a priority. Of course, it should go without saying that the WWE doesn't want to reveal any match or matches with Cena until they're ready to do so, which could explain Cena's bobbing and weaving when it comes to providing a clear answer on his return. Fans shouldn't be too concerned though, as the WWE's plans for Cena will likely be revealed if he appears on SmackDown as predicted. Next up, has WWE already fired Eva Marie? Now, even though Eva Marie signed a new WWE contract last year in September, she hadn't made an appearance on the Raw roster until a couple of months after. As we all know, she debuted with her new protege Piper Niven, or should we say Doudrop. But interestingly, after hyping a return for so long, it seems that WWE have moved her profile over to the alumni section, aka WWE's graveyard, where all other past superstars are present. Now, Eva Marie has not publicly mentioned anything on the matter, but Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com has said to be looking into it, so we should know more details later on. Next up, the next big thing in WWE. Is current Performance Center trainee Parker Boudreaux about to jump to NXT? Boudreaux, who has an uncanny resemblance to Brock Lesnar, as well as his use of the phrase "the next big thing," has led to comparisons with the Beast incarnate. He posted a picture of himself and Triple H along with the message, "It's time to play the game." Triple H and Parker are giving each other Hunter's finger point gesture, which the game usually posts after an NXT superstar wins a championship or some other impressive feat. In fact, it's become quite a funny meme now. Some members of the WWE Universe think that this is a not-so-subtle hint that Parker will be moving up to NXT. There have already been murmurings about Parker, who might join the new Diamond Mine faction. However, other fans note that Parker hasn't been training for long and needs more time before he can wrestle on television. This wouldn't be the first time the WWE has rushed a trainee to TV based on high hopes for their career, and fans shouldn't rule out a scenario where Boudreaux shows up on NXT and serves a bodyguard role for the Diamond Mine, a role which would allow him to get some exposure on television whilst he also continues training. Or whatever the case, this is another example of Parker's skills at using social media to get himself over and stay in the public eye. What do you guys think? Is Boudreaux going to be the next big thing? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a wrestling legend passes away. Now, we just recently learned the passing of manager and wrestler Melissa Coates. Coates, who managed Sabu, was also in a personal relationship with a former ECW and WWE star. Coates began a career in tennis and lifting weights in order to improve her performance on the tennis court. Eventually, though, she switched from tennis to competitive bodybuilding before shifting to another career, that of professional wrestling. According to Ringside News, Super Genie entered the pro wrestling world training under Killer Kowalski and the Ultimate Pro Wrestling Ultimate University. Then she signed with the WWE in 2005, but she did not see much more than appearing in the Master Lock Challenge on the main roster. She left WWE in 2007 after a stint in OVW, WWE's training territory at the time. Coates was 50 years old and no cause of the passing has been released yet, and we send our condolences to Miss Coates' friends and family. Next up, is Pat McAfee finished with NXT? Now, the former NFL punter's presence on SmackDown as color commentator seems to suggest his brief wrestling career on the black and gold brand is over, and now Dave Meltzer is speculating that it's unlikely that he's returning to NXT. During an episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer observed they had 3 members, and then they had McAfee, but I guess he's never coming back. The more likely reason is that McAfee is too busy working on SmackDown, and the WWE is likely more happy having a high-profile crossover athlete on a main show rather than NXT. I don't rule out a potential return to the ring on the blue brand, as McAfee seems to be enjoying playing a heel color commentator and should find himself in a program with any number of wrestlers from the blue brand. McAfee impressed fans and wrestlers alike when he wrestled on NXT, and he seems like a natural. Next up, Matt Hardy wants Hardys in AEW. Matt Hardy's decision to jump from WWE to AEW led to speculation whether his brother Jeff would follow suit once his WWE contract expired. However, Jeff decided to re-up with the WWE, which means a Hardy's reunion is currently out of the question. Nonetheless, Matt hasn't given up on Jeff coming to AEW and discussed the situation during a Twitch stream.
The gimmick I would like to end my career on, and I'm pretty confident in saying this, I would like to finish my career teaming with my brother as the Hardy Boys. You know, just kind of like real life Matt and real life Jeff doing our thing. That is, I feel like, a beautiful way to tie up a career. And, you know, it's probably going to be about 30 years for both of us, a little over 30 years when it's all said and done. But to go out the way you came in, I think that is super cool. So I would like to finish my career with my brother Jeff Hardy as a team.
While they've had successful singles careers, they are forever associated with their legendary tag team, a team which revolutionized the tag team wrestling in the late 90s. The Hardys have never slowed down in terms of taking sick bumps or putting on unforgettable tag team matches. The thought of them in AEW with its plethora of dynamite tag teams is exciting. Matt added,
To correct the record, I would love to have Jeff Hardy come to AEW just so we could team together. And there's a lot of great teams there. I mean, I think a proper Hardy Boys versus Young Bucks feud would be amazing.
It's unknown just when Brother Nero's WWE contract expires, with rumors of him signing anywhere from 2 to a 5-year deal. However, with the WWE slashing its payroll and Jeff receiving an inconsistent push, it's possible they might future endeavor him when they make the next round of cuts. The current story making the rounds is that the WWE is no longer worried about the former WWE superstar showing up in AEW. Whether Jeff Hardy falls into this category remains to be seen. And finally, a major WWE backstage fail. Now, last but not least, leave it to the WWE to hire a writer who apparently is confused about the name of the WWE Champion. You may recall that WWE hired Candice Mobley not too long ago. Mobley appeared on the Asian Not Asian podcast and talked about her job in the WWE along with what led her to being hired. Yes, I have just been hired by the WWE. Given the things that you know about me and my entire life and what I'm into, yes, that's surprising. Yes, also a surprise for me. They did not require me to know anything about wrestling, but I do have a background in film production and comedy writing, and they're like, perfect, come on in. During her interview, she revealed that she's not quite sure who everyone is in the WWE, so I'm here on the Monday Night Raw team. So there's Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, and the people I know that are on it are Bobby. His name is either Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley, and I really should know that. He's like this giant black guy, and he and the people who are part of his crew, I know what they are called, or at least of his last year. They call themselves the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business. They wear suits and they're like, we're cool. And considering all the stories fans have heard about the WWE writers and Vince McMahon, it's no surprise that they've hired a person who knows nothing about wrestling. Like seriously, that should be a criteria of the job. What do you guys think of this? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.